Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a NBA team's tier list based on how much I like watching the team. Yeah, okay, awesome, sounds good. So today we're doing a video. All right, so awesome. Okay, Bucks are first. I don't like watching the Bucks like that much, but they do have Giannis, they do have Dame, they do have AJ Green. So they have basically they have Giannis, but they also have a lot of shooters. They don't even have a lot of shooters. They have two really good shooters. Also, I'll give them B mostly for Giannis' dominance as well as Dame, my favorite player of all time. And now we got the Nets. So the Nets are obviously pretty bad. I like watching Keon Johnson because he used to be on the Blazers. I like watching Trendon Watford. He used to be on the Blazers. But I don't know. Honestly, they're F. Although at the beginning of the season when they had Dennis Schroeder, that was a good team. That was like A. That team was fun because like Dennis Schroeder just going off. But right now, honestly, I gotta put him in F because I don't really like watching Cam Thomas, his ISO ball. I don't really like it that much. So then we got the Knicks. Honestly, Knicks might be S tier. I like watching the Knicks because the main contributor has to be Cat. Because Cat can knock down the deepest threes. Yeah, Cat can knock down really deep threes. And he also hits a lot of fadeaways in the corner, which I like that. I like seeing a big man do some post moves. And, obviously Brunson, he foul baits a lot, but, he gets a lot of tough finishes, and he's only 6'1", and that's entertaining. He's kind of like a taller version of Isaiah Thomas. And then, I don't really care about OG, but Mikal Bridges, he's cool to watch. I think his form is really interesting to look at. And then Josh Hart with his hustle plays. I just love that stuff. I love seeing smaller players get offensive rebounds. And yeah, he just brings it on defense. He runs a lot. So yeah, I think they're S. Oh, and Mitchell Robinson. He's like really lanky. That's pretty cool. Then we got the Raptors. Yeah, I do not like watching the Raptors. Yeah, Raptors are F tier for me. I don't like watching them. I'd rather watch the Nets. Although maybe with Ingram, it'll be a more watchable for me. I don't like watching them at all. Jesus, dude, a lot of bugs. But something about Emmanuel Quickly just pisses me off. I don't like him. I just don't like him. I don't know why. I don't like how he's like a 6'2" point guard with like a B+ 3-pointer. I don't know why. I don't like it. Yeah. Then we got the Jazz. I'll put them in D. They aren't like that bad because they have John Collins, they have Lauri Markkanen, they have Isaiah Collier, they have Keontae George, but it's the Jazz, Walker Kessler gets blocks, but the good thing is that they have such a tall lineup. They got Walker Kessler, he's like 7'2". And then they got John Collins, he's 6'10". And then they got 7-foot Lowry at the small forward. So that's a little bit cool. And when Doran Clarkson's hot, he's hot. But overall, still pretty bad. And then we got the Rockets. When they don't do the Steven Adams and Sengun double big lineup, it's like a C. But when they do the double big lineup, it's like a B. So I'll put them in B. Earlier in the season, I really didn't like watching them, but they've grown on me. It's like, I mean, Amen Thompson's obviously like a highlight reel, and then Fred VanVleet can get really hot from 3-point range. But I don't like watching Jalen Green at all. But overall, it's pretty good. They have their own little niche of being bad at shooting with Sengun and Adams and Amen. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'll put them in at B. And then Pelicans. Pelicans are okay. I'll put them at C. Actually, I kind of want to put him at B. Yeah, I'll put him at B. Because when Zion's healthy, he's very fun to watch. And when CJ is hot, he gets really hot. And he's one of the players who shoots a lot of mid-ranges. So that's interesting. Then Trey Murphy has incredible range. He's not like the best 3-point shooter, but he has hella range. And he can pull it from really far out, and that's entertaining. Then we got the Lakers. So, you know, I'm not trying to be edgy. I'm not trying to be different. I genuinely don't like watching the Lakers. They're boring to me. They're really boring to me. I don't know what it is, but I think they're so boring. Now we got the Bulls. Bulls are C. The Josh Giddey, Lonzo, Kobe White Bulls, they're pretty good to watch. And Maldas Vizelas, he can dunk pretty well. Yeah, and Vucevic, he's pretty fun to watch. The question is this iteration better than, is it more fun to watch than the DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine iteration? I think it's arguable. It's pretty close, I think. Actually, no, the DeMar one and Zach LaVine one is better. Now we got the Timberwolves. I like watching. And Anthony Edwards is obviously a highlight reel, and I like Julius Randle's game a lot. I love a good left-handed power forward, and I like Rudy Gobert's game a lot too, because of how long his arms are. And I'm not as high on Naz Reid as a lot of other people are, or at least as much as they pretend to be, because I feel like people pretend to like Naz Reid to like fit in, but yeah, I feel like a lot of people pretend to like Naz Reid more than they do. But you know, he's pretty good to watch, mostly because of his form. You know, he like basically doesn't jump, and he has a lot of range. Yeah, I don't like Naz Reid that much, but you know, he's okay. You know, solid C+. And then I like watching Nick Walker, Alexander. No, it's Alexander Walker. I like watching Mike Conley a little bit. I think they're a solid. I'll put them in A for the Anthony Edwards posters, mostly. And then I got the Blazers. So the Blazers are my favorite team. So for me, I gotta put them in S. But if I was trying to like act as if I wasn't a Blazers fan, I'd probably put them Probably put him in A because of the. Because I think Danny Avdija is very fun to watch with his slashing and his shooting and his passing. And Tumar Kamara brings the clamps on defense, and he picks people up at full court a lot, which is pretty entertaining. And I think the Blazers get a lot of steals, so at least the fast breaks. And people hate on him, but when DeAndre Ayton's healthy, about half the time he's really good, and he's entertaining. He's one of the best mid-range shooters in the league. And then, so yeah, for me they're S, but if I was trying to be more objective, I'll put them in A. Although I kind of miss Nurkic. Actually, no, I don't. I was gonna say I kind of miss Nurkic for the big white center who like takes a long time to shoot, but can make them. But we have that with Donovan Clingan. He can stroke it from outside, even though he's 7'2", and I think that's interesting. He has kind of an ugly form, but he goes in a lot. And then we got the Nuggets. Nuggets are S. Nuggets are my favorite team besides the Blazers, and Jokic is my favorite player that's never played on the Blazers. And you know, I've loved watching Jokic ever since 2019. He's always been a unicorn at center. He's like a point center. I mean, we all know about Jokic. Now I got the Thunder. I'll put Thunder in C. I don't really like watching them that much. I don't like Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't like Shet. I don't like Shea that much, but he's the MVP though. But I don't like watching him that much, really. I don't know why. But you know, he's kind of entertaining with like his mid ranges. But yeah, I don't really care for the Thunder that much. Although I do like Caruso, and I do like I forgot his name. Then I got the Grizzlies. Honestly, I'll put the Grizzlies in B tier. I think they're entertaining. Not because of Ja. Ja's kind of entertaining, but I don't really care about Ja. But I like Luke Kennard a lot for some reason. I like his shooting. I like him because he's a great shooter and he has a super fast jump shot. And I like Jaren Jackson Jr. because he can stretch the floor and he has bad form, but he can make deep threes. And I like Jay Huff because he's just a shooter. He's like a 7-foot shooter. So yeah, I like the Grizzlies, but not really for Ja Morant. And I think if they had a more exciting small forward, then they could go even higher. And now we got the Mavericks. So the pre Anthony Davis trade, I would say the Mavericks are like high B, low A. After the trade, I would say after the trade they're a little bit rough to watch, to be honest. I like that they have two bigs. That's kind of cool. But it's rough to watch sometimes. But I'll go with C because they have good defense. And then I got the Spurs. I think Spurs are S tier. Mostly because of Wemby, obviously. Wemby alone brings you to at least A tier. But then, once you factor in De'Aaron Fox, he's super fast. He can stop on a dime, and he's left-handed, which I like. I like left-handed players. They mix it up. And then Chris Paul. I wish he would stay for another season, because I think he's entertaining. He's old, but he still gets it done. And then, yeah, I mean they're S tier. And they got Mamu on the bench. He's pretty entertaining. He's left-handed, and he could run power forward. And I got the Suns. Suns are, the Suns are a bad team from like roster construction, but honestly, they're pretty entertaining. I'll put them in B, because actually, Nurkic is on the Hornets now. But before Nurkic was on the Hornets, he was on the Suns. I mean, I like watching Nurkic when he's not on my favorite team, because he has high highs and low lows, and I really like his form, because it's ugly, but it's really smooth. And then KD is obviously he's tough. He gets buckets. He shoots over defenders. And then Bradley Beal, he can pop off sometimes. And then Devin Booker. I mean, he's just another tough bucket getter. And then I like watching Mason Plumlee. I kind of like the shitty backup centers a lot for some reason. I like John Henson. I like shitty players. I like Lakers Marc Gasol. Yeah. So yeah, Suns B tier. Oh yeah, and they have Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen, which is just two people who you like to watch to shoot. Who I like to watch shoot 3-pointers. And now we got the Clippers. This season, Clippers are definitely S tier. I watch a lot of their highlight games on YouTube. Probably the most out of any team besides the Trailblazers or the Nuggets. Because, I mean, it's Harden, it's Norman Powell, it's Kawhi, it's Derrick Jones Jr., and it's Zubac. All 5 of those players get highlights except Zubac. But he's like the gritty center who can't shoot, but he holds it down. So they got and they have Ben Simmons, who's one of my favorite players to watch. And I like watching Chris Dunn because he can't shoot, but he's a shooting guard. And he's short, but he's a good defender. He's kind of like Avery Bradley or Marcus Smart. So yeah, they're definitely S tier. That team, the Clippers were very entertaining this year. And I got the Warriors. So obviously they have Curry, they have Draymond. I like watching Draymond a lot because he's like 6'7", 6'6", but he's really strong and he's pretty mobile. And I like watching him shoot with like a backpack jumper. I like it. And then Buddy Hield, he's one of my favorite players. I think he's one of the most underrated 3-point shooters of all time. He's top 10 3-point shooter of all time. And then I really don't like Kuminga, and I don't like Pods, but I do like that he gets a lot of chase down blocks. But yeah, I really hate Kuminga. I think he sucks. But overall, they're definitely they're arguably they're A tier, mostly because of their playbook. They have one of the best playbooks I've ever seen on offense. They always have movement. So I gotta go A. And now we got the Pistons. I was kind of iffy on the Pistons. I don't like watching them that much. I'll put them in C. I really don't like Jaden Ivey. And my favorite Piston is probably... it was Bojan Bogdanovic, but he's not on there anymore. Is he even in the league? I don't know. I think he retired. He's old. Kings. I like Sabonis. I like Zach LaVine. I kind of like DeMar. But I don't know. They're okay. Well, actually, no. I'll put them in B purely off the entertainment. I mean, they're a fast-paced, good offense team. And then the Cavs. I'll put the Cavs in B also. I'm not the biggest fan, but they are entertaining. It's always great to see Donovan Mitchell go off, or Darius Garland stroke three, stuff like that. And I'm a big fan of Ty Jerome. I'm a big fan of Sam Merrill. I'm a big fan of DeAndre Hunter. So yeah, they have a good role player core. And Max Strus has highlights too. And I got the Celtics. I don't like watching the Celtics that much because they're pretty one note in my opinion. They like the 3-point volume. They have a lot of 3-point volume. And I prefer if they mix for entertainment if they mix it up a little bit more. But I'll put them in B. Because they do have really good ball movement. I don't like Jaylen Brown. I don't like watching Jaylen Brown. But I think Derek White almost pushes them into A tier, really off Derek White. But not quite. And then I got the Sixers. I don't like Embiid, but I love his play style. 2023 Embiid was crazy. Wait, no, not 2024 Embiid was crazy. I like Maxey, I guess. I like Maxey. I like watching Paul George. And I like watching Lowry also. I'll put them in B. And I got the Hornets. Yeah, I don't like watching the Hornets. They're definitely F tier. I don't like watching LaMelo chuck up threes. I don't like watching Miles Bridges because he's a domestic abuser. There's just nothing I really like on the Hornets, personally. And then we got the Wizards. Okay, we've got the Wizards. So last season, it was kind of last season. Yeah, even before Denny was on the Blazers, I liked watching him a lot for his speed and versatility. But I want to highlight the 2022 Wizards for when they had Porzingis. Because I loved watching that team. I think they had Monte Morris also. I just love that team. They had incredible jerseys with like the pink. But for last season's Wizards with like Jordan Poole, I don't like Keyshawn George. I don't really like Bilal Coulibaly that much, and I don't like Bob Carrington, and I don't like Jordan Poole. But I'll put them in D. They're better than the Raptors, Nets, and Hornets, I think. And then we got the Magic. I like watching the Magic because they can't shoot. I'm a big fan of Paolo and Wagner as a duo. And I like watching Jonathan Isaac. I like watching Anthony Black. I like watching Jalen Suggs because this team just brings it on defense. Honestly, I'm gonna go with A. I like watching this team a lot. And once they trade for Anthony Simons in the offseason, I think they'll be a lot better also. And they'll be more entertaining because they have a little bit more of a balance. And then the Heat. I was a big fan of watching the Jimmy Butler Heat because I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan. I've liked him ever since 2017. I don't like watching Hero, but I do like watching Bam. And I like watching Duncan Robinson a lot. And I like is there anyone else I like a lot? I do like Kyle Anderson too. But this year's Heat with Jimmy, I would put him in like B, but without Jimmy, honestly, they're like C. Yeah, they're C. Because at least they have Mitchell as well. They're like low C though. They're close to D. And then we got the Hawks. I'm a big fan of Trae Young as a player. I think he's a great offensive engine. And I like watching the Hawks a lot. I'm a big fan of Georges Niang because he's fat and he's in the NBA and he's kind of bad. I like watching Clint Capella and Onyeka catch lobs. I like watching I liked watching Hunter, but I think that trade was abysmal. I thought it was terrible when it happened, and I think it's even worse now. Like I don't understand that trade at all. That was terrible. But I like wasn't he's like top 3 and 6 man of the year, and he's exactly what the Hawks need. He's 6'8" and is a 3-and-D player. But yeah, that trade was fucking horrible. But Jalen Johnson, I haven't really seen him play that much, to be honest. But he should be good. He should be an exciting fit next to Trey, unless they trade him. Trade Trey Young. I liked watching Bojan, but they traded him as well. But overall, I'll put him in A. I'm a big fan of watching the Hawks. And then final team is the Pacers. So they're up 3-1 on the Cavs right now, which that's impressive. I didn't really see that coming, but I did think that the Pacers were a good team. But Pacers are... I love watching their depth. I'll put them in A. For the depth, I love watching Tyrese Halliburton's shitty jump shot go in. I love watching Miles Turner just do what Miles Turner does. I don't like Mathurin. I don't like Benedict Mathurin. But I remember in 2020 I wanted the Blazers to draft him with the 7th pick, but yeah, thankfully we didn't do that because I think he sucks. And I like Aaron Nesmith kind of. He's a good 3-and-D piece. And then I think I'm a big fan of what's his name? What's his face? They're starting shooting guard. I forgot his name. But yeah, he has like a kind of a chopped jump shot, but it goes in. And it doesn't have a lot of arc. There's Andrew Nembhard. And I'm also a big fan of TJ McConnell off the bench because he's like 6'1" and white, and he gets a lot of steals, and he's a big hustle guy, a big IQ guy. He gets it done like that. So overall, I'm just going to highlight the S tier and the F tier. So S tier is Nuggets, Knicks, Spurs, Clippers. And then F tier is Nets, Hornets, and Raptors.